tournament hosts Australia will have a chance to advance to their first Women's World Cup final on Wednesday, August 16th at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time against Euro winners England. Playing in the semifinals is also the first time for the Matildas, who rank 10th in the world. England, who rank 4th, have also never made a final, but this is their third straight World Cup reaching the semifinals. In 5 meetings since 2011, these teams have split the results at 2-2-1, but Australia have the most recent win, and it was very recent, a 2-0 win in April in a friendly. Now, before the odds, please give this video a like to see more Women's World Cup picks throughout the tournament and more soccer picks this summer. Now let's look at those odds. Australia will be the underdogs in this game despite being the host. They're at plus 230. The draw is at plus 225. England are favorites at plus 125. Australia to advance comes in at plus 120. England to advance minus 163. Over 2.5 is the underdog at plus 160 odds. Under 2.5 is favored at minus 211. Both teams to score yes, plus 120. Both teams to score no, minus 163. Those odds coming at bet 365. Now, how did Australia get here to the semifinals? Well, the Matildas were first in Group B, which was considered by some to be the group of death. They were 2-0-1. They navigated that group, beating Ireland 1-0, having a 3-2 loss to Nigeria, and a 4-0 win over Canada. In the round of 16, they beat Denmark 2-0, then headed into the quarterfinals against one of the tournament's most impressive teams, being France. Now, versus France, the stats would show that it was fairly balanced. However, France did lead in many of the stat categories, just barely. They had 51% of the possession. France held the shot edge, 21-15, shots on target edge, 5-4, and had the corners edge, 12-8. But the scoreline would also show that the game was very close, as it did end 0-0, and it needed penalties to decide a winner, and that saw Australia just edge out the win 7-6 on PKs, with Courtney Vine putting home the eventual winning PK kick. Sam Kerr, again, didn't start, but did come off the bench to play 66 minutes, and she did score in her PK attempt. For England, the Lionesses topped Group D at 3-0-0. They had a 1-0 win over Hayley, a 1-0 win over Denmark, and a 6-1 win over China. They needed PKs to get past Nigeria after a 0-0 draw in the round of 16, which set up a meeting with Colombia in the quarterfinals. They played that game without star Lauren James, who was serving a 2-game suspension for stepping on a Nigeria player in the game prior. Versus Colombia, England entered as heavy favorites versus the 25th ranked nation, Colombia, and while they won 2-1, they were made to work for it. Colombia actually scored first in the 44th minute with a goal from Lacey Santos before Lauren Hemp equaled just minutes later into stoppage time right before the half. Alessia Russo's 63rd minute goal would prove to be the winner for England. England had the possession edge, 63%. They had more shots on target, 6-3. Corners, 5-3, but Colombia did have more shot attempts, 15-10. Scoring props for this game, despite only playing 77 minutes in the tournament, Kerr played 66 minutes last game, and odds makers are expecting her to be plenty involved in the semifinals, so much so that she is the most favored player to score at plus 225. Next up, it's 4 players from the Lionesses in Russo, Daly, England, and Hemp, all coming in between plus 300 and plus 333 in the odds. Other Australians among the top 10 favorites are Foord and Fowler. Other English players include Georgia Stanway, Catley, Toone. Now, none of those players are priced longer than plus 400, so it's really looking like anybody's guess as to who might step up and be the hero on the day. Hayley Raso leads Australia with 3 goals. Raso had 3 goals with only 5 shots on target so far in this tournament. However, those 5 are the most shots on target for anyone on the team. Steph Catley is the only other player with multiple goals for Australia. She has 2, while 4 players have 1 goal. However, she doesn't get very many chances with only 2 total shots, that being Steph Catley. Foord leads the team with shot attempts with 15, but she has only 2 of those 15 shots that have gone on target. Fowler has 11 attempts, but only 3 on target. And in her limited time, Sam Kerr has just 2 shot attempts and no shots on target. Now for England, with leading scorer Lauren James, who has 3 goals and 3 assists, still suspended, someone else will need to step up, and it could once again be Russo or Hemp. Both scored last game and each have 2 goals in the tournament. Toone took James's place in the quarterfinals in the lineup and could do so again. Now, Russo leads the English team in shots and shots on target with 17 attempts and 17 on target. Rachel Daly is second in both of those categories with 11 shots and 7 shots on target. And otherwise, 3 other players have scored, with Stanway, Daly, and Kelly all having 1 goal. Some of the stats in this game, neither of these teams are among the top scoring sides, even though both have played several more games than other teams at this point. England have 10 goals and Australia have 9. While that is some of the highest, it's not really amongst the top teams. That's only 6th and 7th respectively in goals for. Australia has a slightly higher XG of 9.2 compared to England's 8.8. And those stats, too, are good for only 6th and 8th, respectively, amongst all teams in the tournament. Neither side has piled up shots either so far. England have 32 shots on target. That's 5th. Australia have 23, which is 8th. Both teams, though, have been solid defensively and only allowing 2 goals for England and 3 goals for Australia. England's XGA of 3.9 comes in superior to Australia's 5.3. Let's look at some picks for this game. Looking at the odds and the picks, England so far has gone 3-2 to under 2.5 bets. They've allowed a goal to Colombia and China. Australia's games have also been 3-2 to under 2.5, but they did allow all 3 of their goals in one game against Nigeria. So combined, there have been 7 clean sheets amongst the 10 games played between these teams. Both teams have scored in 4 of their 5 games. One common opponent between them is Nigeria. England drew them 0-0 with a PK. Going into PKs, Australia lost 3-2. Both teams will have star players either missing or limited in this game. England doesn't have James, and Kerr has yet to play a full game for Australia. England are certainly the more experienced team here, being in the semifinals multiple times, while this is a first for Australia. England also has recent big game experience, having won the Euros just last year. But Australia, they played in a bronze medal game in the Olympics recently, so they too have played in big games lately. They'll get a huge boost from the home crowd, and they should have their best player, Sam Kerr, at least involved for most of the game. To me, this looks pretty even. I think it's going to be low scoring, 1-0, 0-0, maybe 1-1, needing extra time, or PKs. Either way, I'm going to look at the under. Now, the under 2.5, though, is very juiced. It's minus 211 at Bet365. A little bit better, minus 205 if you go over to DraftKings. So this might just be a good bet to include in a parlay with something else. Now, if you wanted to get a little bit better odds, if I had to pick a winner to advance, I think at plus money, Australia as the home team would offer better value. Plus 120 to advance by any means. Could be regulation, extra time, or PKs. If you wanted to put that together, you could go under 2.5 and Australia to qualify. That would be a plus 210. Or we have some other same game parlay options that you can create. You could go under 2.5 and Kerr to have 1 shot on target at plus 110. Now, while she has 0 shots on target so far, if you think she starts and plays most of the game, it's very likely she can get at least 1 shot on target. If you want to switch that around and go the England route, you go under 2.5 and Russo to have 1 shot on target. That comes in at plus 105. She has a shot on target in 4 of 5 games this tournament and has multiple shots in 3 of those 5 games. If you wanted to combine all of that together, you go under 2.5 and Kerr and Russo to have a shot on target, and that's plus 200. Now, not knowing how much Kerr will be involved, I think the safer route might just be to go under 2.5 and throw a shot on target in there for Russo at plus 105. So that will be my bet in this game. Give me your predictions in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Women's World Cup picks, as well as more soccer picks all summer long. Thanks a lot, and good luck.